All right. Once again, it is time for another episode of the Command Grab.
Woo. Y'all already know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about PoE. So,
POE.
yep,
That's
just get ready for it. We're going to talk about it. First thing we got to talk about, though,
what we got to talk about.
we got to talk about this blue sky and these Twitter
Oh,
accounts.
ooh.
If you're not following them, make sure you do at TAGPW podcast on both platforms. Make sure you reach out. We've been seeing a lot of followers on Blue Sky so far, so thank you for that. Continue to do that. Make sure you're hearing all of our takes. You can see everything there. You can see all of our podcasts. They're posted there also. Just follow for the content. It's good stuff. And if you aren't
Yeah.
already, please make sure you listen to our podcasts on Spotify and Podbean. I almost forgot where we were for a second. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where I am right now. But if you aren't, please make sure you listen to Off the Top Rope on Podbean and Spotify. They're there. If you can't watch the videos, make sure you do that. We do what we can to make sure these sound really good for everybody. So yeah, make sure you do that. What else is going on, Profit? Where else can they see us?
Well, the other spot you can see us is the spot that you're on right now, YouTube. And of course, if you want to hear more of our content, you want to see more of it, drop that, hit that like button. It for sure helps us. And of course, subscribe and hit the bell button because once you do that, anytime our content goes live, you'll get the pop-up saying it's live and you'll be there. You'll be first in line. You'll click on that new video and watch us. Or watch us or listen to us, however you want to do it. If you got the hot YouTube premium, you probably listen to us, which is good. um and yeah, let's get on with the show.
All right, like I said at the top of the show, we're talking about PoE. The first thing we got to talk about, though, let's talk about where we are in the game right now. Because Profit, you're at a place that I'm not at yet because I literally restarted.
Okay, so starting off, I completed the standard campaign. Just completely completed it. And now I'm in Cruel. Still on the Warrior. Well, not very long. Not for very long. So I finally got through Cruel. It was that shit was a nightmare. I'm still wondering if anybody at GGGQA played melee classes like the starting six that they're going to use melee classes and played them through the game. Like Monk's okay, Monk's I guess in a decent spot. It's still hard, but they're in a decent spot. But Warrior, I don't think anybody played Warrior. Warrior feels like the Druid from Diablo 4, and it's just a slog, and it does not feel good. Like that is the one class that in this whole game that right now, because the supporting areas aren't there, they do not feel good at all. Or what I mean by supporting areas is like the supporting weapons of going in between classes and building the different specs and having the correct weapons for those specs, right? Um, it's just Warrior's just a slog, and it's not really fun. Like melee is just not fun at all. It does not feel good. Um, so yeah, I got to the end, got to Cruel, started playing through that, and then I just realized that I hey, I played through the campaign, I got through it, I stuck through it, got to Cruel, and I'm like, I don't want to play this class anymore. So I've been bouncing back between Witch and Merc, and those classes are like infinitely more fun than Warrior. By far, it's not even close. It's like a night and day difference. Um, yeah. So where are you at, Lionel?
So my monk is still at the end of Act 2. I actually haven't touched my monk at all this week. Um, what was I? I think I started playing again 2 days ago,
Mhm.
and I was at the count on my ranger.
Yeah.
Now I am one area away from the Act 2 end boss. I got my ascendancy. I've only played a few hours too, by the way. Like, I haven't been able to play a lot this week.
Yeah.
I got my ascendancy. I think my archer, ranger, whichever one, sorry, is at level 27, 26, somewhere around there. So I'm pushing. Right now, I am very close to beating Act 2. My monk, I'm probably just not going to touch that for a little while. I'm just going to echo what you were saying. Monk is in a better spot. I'm pretty sure I'm getting killed for saying this also. But it definitely does not... There's two builds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now, for my ranger, I looked up a build, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing something completely different. I'm still doing damage. Like, the build that I'm using right now, I haven't really seen out in public. It's like a poison electric build, which I'm going to switch that pretty soon. I don't want the electric anymore. I'm going to do something else, but I'm going to figure that out. It just... I'm probably going to do poison fire so I can, like, light things on fire and just go. Which means I'm going to use crossbows, which I'm already focused strength also. I'm dexterity strength, so that works out. I already kind of planned that out. So I'm going to grab a couple skills for a crossbow and make that work out. But yeah, like going back to monk, not great. I haven't touched it. 2 builds. I also was not having fun. And since I switched since going to ranger, I've been having so much more fun with that game.
Yeah. It's and yeah, I'm sure we're gonna get killed by the POE faithful, so because we're new in the space, but I don't know. I it's just, it feels like Melee. All right, it feels like when they when they put this out, right, that when they did all their testing, they did it with like, they didn't do it with the straight, okay, you have to use these classes, only the 6 classes, but you can't use like the guys that are going to be released later, or the weapons for the people that are going to be released later. Because there's no way, like, especially for Warrior, there's no goddamn way they played that and said it was fun. I highly doubt that. There's no way. It's either nobody played them, which is the Diablo Druid situation. I feel like nobody played that class, and it just came out complete shit. So it's like either nobody played them, or they just turned a blind eye and just released them, and then they're going to be like, oh, well, they'll get the weapons that support it later. I just find it very hard to believe that the slow slog of a thing that they brought out is what's ideal or was considered fun internally. There's no way.
Oh, bro, I'm convinced. Even before our talk, before the podcast, I'm convinced that Mercenary wasn't supposed to be in early access. I fully believe there should have been another melee class that was in early access, but I think they threw Merc in there because I feel like they knew that melee isn't where it should be. You know what I mean? Mercenary feels so good and so strong. You know what I mean? Even compared to like the other ranged classes, I fully believe that Mercenary was like, oh, let's put this in now so people can see how our class is going to be, and then we're going to come back, and once we get our other classes, for those who don't remember what those other classes are, they are Druid, Duelist, Huntress, Marauder, Shadow, and Templar. Once we get those, everything will feel complete. You can go do what you want. And this class, the Mercenary class, is the example of the other 6 that are more than likely going to be really good. Warrior got screwed. you have to do so much to make a warrior good, which is, it's fun for people who want to do that, but like we talked about last week, we don't have all the time in the world to try to make classes that are a little bit weaker comparable. Like we don't have the time. We have a lot of other things that we do outside of just gaming. So for the people who made it work, good for you. You've done a great job. It's hard for us with our limited amount of time to play.
Well, Actually, I'm a roll back on that. So,
Uh-oh.
um, so even the people that have made it work say it's not great, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that are like, there's a guy that made a what was it? A Titan Summoner build, and his main part of in the beginning of his thing, he's like, yeah, playing Warrior the normal way is the worst possible experience of the game. Think about that. He said it is the worst possible experience in the game
Mm-hmm.
versus playing anything else. And so he was like, screw it, I'll just make it a summoner then. So he did the thing and made it a summoner, and it works. Right? So, luckily he could do that. But even then, since they're missing that strength int class, which is the Templar and I think it's the Shadow. I think so.
I can look. I got you.
Yeah. The whoever the two strength int classes are, they're missing that weapon like right in the middle. So it'll be even more powerful once that shows up.
Druid and Templar are the two strength int, according to
Okay.
this sheet. Which again, well, I guess not again for everyone listening, but stressing that this is just a website. I don't know if this is going to be true, but it makes sense that Templar and Druid are both strength int. So
Yeah. So we're missing that array of weapons. So once they get those two, that summoner class will be even stronger. And there's like since the druid, he has two forms. The one where, he's in his animal forms and he does all like almost like melee based attacks and things like that. But if he stays in the human form, he's a caster. So you have like you'll be able to like do a little bit of that too. So there's like it's just like there's like stuff missing. And for the strength side, I think it's the swords that are missing.
yeah,
So right there's like, I don't know, there might be a gap in abilities where if you use swords going down the path, it's even, it makes it better, makes it feel a lot faster, things like that. Or you can mix swords and maces. I don't know, but maces suck. I don't know how anybody was like, hey, this is fun. It is not fun at all.
I can guarantee you, everyone was like, "Hey, you know, Warrior ain't that great." I can guarantee you, people were saying that, and everyone was like, "Nah, leave it. It's fine. It's fine. No, we're gonna have a lower percentage of people that are playing that class anyway. It's fine." Which ended up being the case. There aren't a lot of people that play Warrior.
Well, they stopped playing Warrior because it sucks.
Yeah.
So, but if Warrior was more capable than what it is, it is a popular archetype. So, like, people would play it. It would be like right in the middle if it was like, usable. But it's not. You have to do so much work to make it work. And even then, it's not great because, like, you're slow. You're slow as shit. And there's so many attacks, like, at in game that you can't dodge, or you can try to dodge it. I'm not gonna say you can't dodge. You can try to dodge it, and you get hit, and it's taking about 70 to 80% of your health, even with like a bunch of armor. It just doesn't feel good. So, if I were to talk about my low point of PoE, it's playing Warrior. Warrior is the lowest point of PoE2 for me. I just I didn't enjoy it. On the flip side, playing the other classes is way more fun. I got the bad class out the way first, and now I'm playing the fun ones. And I'll say right now, this is something I do in all ARPGs, by the way, or like most games. I don't just stick with like one class. I'll play that class, see like what's going on with the class, and see like, its faults and things like that. I'll play the weakest class and I'll play the strongest, or strongest, weakest, strongest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did that in Diablo. So like, I played Druid, and then I played, like the last season it was Mage, or not, yeah. So it was Druid, and then it was whatever that Mage build was, and it was like night and day, right?
Mm.
I'm doing the same thing here. I played Warrior first. Warrior's not fun at all. I'm gonna try like some of the better ones, the other ones that are better, like the Minion Sorceress, or you know blasting everything with mercenary, grenade mercenary.
Mm.
Those sound fun. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It just you can definitely tell that there's some things missing in here. Even with Monk, right? Like a lot of the Monk builds that you see that aren't just the normal,
Flicker Strike.
normal lightning or ice. What they are is I believe they use sorceress stuff. You know what I mean? Like everyone in some way uses like some kind of range to make their class work outside of that one Monk build. Yeah, it's too easy to get swarmed in this game. You would think that Warrior would have like a lot of advantages in that sense, but it doesn't feel like they do. Right? I can on Ranger, I'm like, oh no, I'm swarmed. I'm just use this attack. Oh, now I'm out. Now I'm 15 feet away from everybody. Like
Right.
it's a whole different game when you're playing a range class with more get out potential over like a Monk, or I haven't played Warrior, so I can't talk too much about Warrior. You can. But Monk, it's hard to get out if you want to do something that's not the top build for Monk, which is why I don't do it anymore. I don't. It's the game is so much easier on a ranged character, just so much easier.
Yeah, and when you compare like the ranged and the melees and stuff like that, there's some ranged characters that don't even get touched. Like Sorceress, they have the lightning build. Sorceress literally walks in a room, spams lightning. Lightning's all over the place. So by the time she gets to the area, the things are getting hit already and they're dead. And then she's just walking through. It's almost walking simulator at that point. They're just walking through, blasting lightning everywhere, and everything is dying. And that's the same with it's a little more. I won't say it's a little more work. There's a little. You got to do a little bit more things, but minion witch, kind of the same thing. Once she starts summoning and starts getting those things going, all she has to do is dodge mechanics, and then the minions take care of the rest. And then Grenader, fucking Witch Hunter, or not Witch Hunter, but Mercenary, or you're probably going to use Witch Hunter, probably.
More than
But
likely, yeah.
you throw grenades and then explode them immediately. And then they're taking whatever that one grenade is going to do times five. It's just boom, instant burst. And you can control it. You can either set them down and have them wait and blow up, or you can just blow them up yourself and then just keep going.
Part of my range build is gonna have like some mercenary things on it. Like you can go through Ranger and you can do. I think I told you what build I was doing. Maybe I don't even think it was on the podcast, but I plan on doing a really dope like exploding poison build where you just throw poison down and you just light it on fire and everything dies. That's my plan. It seems like it's really fun. I don't know if it's gonna be like super super good. It's probably not gonna be like amazing, but it's gonna be fun. That's what I'm here for fun. So I'm gonna take a couple mercenary stuff, so I can blow things up a little bit easier before I take the level 9 skills for Ranger to blow things up. Mainly, I'm also gonna be blowing things up, but just with a bow instead of a crossbow.
Well, you can equip both and then switch.
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing.
So you put like they can switches by skill. So if you wanted to throw your poison down, throw your poison arrows down, and then walk back. And if you have the level 7 gems, get exploding shot. Hit exploding shot, and it should ignite everything. and blow it all up.
The exploding shot is 9, so I can't get that yet until Act 3, which I'm taking some.
Okay.
I'm taking some mercenary stuff already.
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna keep the mercenary stuff because I'm already kind of doing it already. It's fun seeing like I'm shooting with the bow and then I just switch over to the crossbow and I'm like blasting. I'm like, okay, let me switch back to the bow. Like it's fun. It's just fun to see.
Yeah.
It was easy to do because I was already doing dexterity strength by default because fucking intelligence. Ugh. I'm kidding, but yeah, it was always gonna be dex strength, and it just worked out that mercenary was dex strength that I didn't even think about it, but it makes sense. So
Yeah.
that's the plan.
And they get crossbows later on. Like if you're doing grenades, it shoots an extra grenade, it shoots extra projectiles and stuff. So yeah, it's just like a base part of that crossbow. It's cool as shit.
Ah, man, but yeah, it's the this is what we're saying. This is the hard part about this is the fact that I love melee classes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right now they aren't in a good place to play. I feel like they will be better once the game's fully released. And like I said, I'm still convinced that Mercenary wasn't supposed to be out right now. It's going to be something else. Because you said Druid was like the first thing that we saw, right? Wasn't that one of the first classes that we saw was Druid?
It was Druid and they showed Druid and Monk at the same time.
Yeah.
It was literally the first two classes they showed.
I'm convinced Druid was supposed to be one of the early access classes, but they swapped it for Mercenary. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah. Well, it could be also that they brought both int classes in at the same time, which if they were going to do it, because if you take out like one of the int classes, say like they're both too popular. Like pet classes are so popular, and so are just like your standard mage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you took out say like the witch, and then you put in druid, right? You kept mercenary, but you put in druid. Then it fills out all of the whole circle of like where everybody starts. And there's in between weapons for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that strengthened weapon and things like that. So yeah, I don't know.
That wasn't gonna happen though. There's no way they weren't gonna put witch in here. Like there's no way that wasn't gonna happen.
There's no way. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's no way they weren't going to put witch, and there's no way they weren't going to put sorcerers.
No, like I feel like the only class that had like a chance of being taken out was probably shit. Looking at them, I don't even know which one you could have taken out. That's why I'm convinced Mercenary. Mercenary is just it's too good. Even considering with the class that we have in here right now, it just stands above everything else. I'm convinced that this was the class that they were like, oh yeah, no, just throw this one in, it's fine.
Well, I would say it's one of the more solid classes all around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going by power though. Like, sorceress is the most powerful.
Oh yeah, magic. That's just kind of how that should happen. How that should go is magic should always be the best.
The exploding room thing is just the lightning, fucking walking lightning across the whole room, and you're just walking around and shit's dying. Yeah, that's I don't think you're beating that. But yeah, mercenary is solid, but also ranger is solid too. They're really solid.
Ranger's a lot of fun. Ranger's a lot of fun. Like the stuff that I've been doing, like, and the fact that I haven't had to switch. I remember when we talked about this week 1. I was like, oh yeah, you can go in, switch your builds all the time, blah, 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 blah. I don't have to do it with Ranger. I don't have to do it with Ranger. I just add what I want to add and be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I already have stuff placed somewhere else. Like, I was like, oh, I don't want to do poison for this fight. I already have something for lightning. I'm already set. Like, I don't have to worry about changing anything. I couldn't do that with Monk. Monk was like, oh yeah, I need ice. I'm put ice here. Oh wait, now I need to switch because I want to do this. It's not normal. I thought it was. It's not. You shouldn't have to switch for every other boss fight. You should be able to just make a build and just go.
Right, right. Because if that was the intended function, they wouldn't have made respecking cost so fucking much.
Yeah.
Because the one time I respect on my warrior, and that was after the patch. Well, it cost so like I literally lost all my money right there. Respecting my warrior.
Bro, that
Just to get, go ahead.
that first week for me was awful. Because like I told you, I was in again, hindsight, I was like, "Oh my god, I love doing this." No. I was spending all my gold. I couldn't do anything. I was hampering myself. That's why another reason why I don't look at that monk too much anymore. Because I was switching stuff, I was doing all this stuff, spending all my gold. I would probably have at least 100,000 gold right now if I wasn't fucking around with monk for the first week and a half.
Oof. Yeah, the well, I think everybody can attest to that. Even like that gold cost shouldn't be that high.
Yeah.
So,
It can still be a little tuned. I think right now
yeah,
it's like okay, it definitely could be lower.
it's okay-ish, but it's not. Yeah, if you're too deep in a tree, you probably have to, and you don't have to change. If all you got to change is like 4 or 5 nodes, you're good. But if you have to go like to like a halfway point and you're like at the end of the tree, oh yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like I going back to it, I'm still having a lot of fun with the game. I think it was just a bad idea to play a melee first without knowing what was going on. Like I feel like right now I could probably go to warrior. I probably won't have fun, but I'll be able to figure something out, right? I'm pretty sure I can make a monk because again, I'm not looking at my monk currently, and I can make something work. But just ranger, I've been just clicking skills. I've just been going through everything, and it just works. Although I did notice that I've been getting a lot less support gems on my ranger.
um, get to chapter. You're almost at the end of 2, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Because where I was with the monk, I was just getting them. They're just dropping, right? So I was able to just make a bunch of mistakes with my gems. Now, I think I've seen like maybe since going into Act 2, the back half of Act 2, I think I've seen like maybe 2 drop, maybe.
I didn't really get like a ton of support gems until like almost the end of Act 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Act 3, I just kill some random ant on the ground and the support gem would drop.
Yeah, because at that point, they're still only going to give you level 1s. Like, you could just have these, whatever. You're at the end of the game anyway. You're going to replace all these
Oh,
with
no,
these
no.
level 2 ones eventually.
They'll give you no. So I think how it works is they give you what you're. So if you're past the threshold, right? Gym. So to use that support gym, so like say like the level 2 support gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a level threshold that you have to meet to do that. Once you meet that threshold, that's the only gym that will drop.
Ooh. I definitely
And it's
thought I definitely thought it was like per game per playthrough because it made sense in my mind. Like playthrough 1 was you just get level 1, playthrough 2 you get level 2. But if there's like a level threshold, ooh, that makes sense.
yeah, it's a level threshold. So once you get to that level threshold, you pass it, then they'll start dropping level 2, just like skill gems. Skill gems is the same way. You meet a level threshold, boom. So that's how you get those in between gems, right? So you're waiting for, so you get the level 1 gems in the beginning, and then you start getting the level 2s at a certain level. And then I think it's like once you hit like what 15 or something like that, you get the level 3s
I
or
think
something
so.
like that.
Yeah. I think I'm waiting for 9. I believe that was level 31 is what I remember seeing.
Yeah. So as soon as you hit level 31, that's all that's going to drop.
Act 2 is going to be done by that point. I want these level 9 so I can blow up the end of Act 2 boss. I don't want to wait. I'm going to have to grind. I'm just blasting through the game.
You're blasted.
I'm
Bro.
blasting through the game. Like, I got my ascendancy at level 26. On Monk, I had to be level 32. So I'm just, I need to stop. I need to kill some more stuff. I need to leave a map and come back and let everything respawn so I kill more stuff. so I can level up some more.
So you just blast him, bro. That's all you're doing. You just blast him.
Because this shit is easy on ranged, bro. Like, the most annoying thing that I've had for ranged is when I'm in, like, a tight corridor, like, or, like, a boss area, and, like, oh, no, now I have to, instead of walking it back in a straight line and going back and forth this way, I just have to walk in a circle to make sure no one hits me. And sure, I'll die a couple times because, you know, you mess up. But I'm like, oh, no, circle instead of just a straight line. Nothing stopped me more than, I think a boss has killed me twice. That's it.
Yeah.
It's easy mode on a ranged class, especially ranger. I can't even imagine mercenary. Mercenary's going in there blowing everything up. I can't imagine, or even sorceress. I can't imagine how easy that is if I'm having an easy time with ranger.
Sorceress in the beginning is a little. Sorceress, it ramps. It's a ramp up, right? There's some things in the beginning that you can do to make it easier, which, you know, it makes it pretty easy. Like, it's like flame wall and then shoot your shit through the flame wall. That's literally it. And then after that, you get all your supporting gems and supporting spells, and then and then as you level up, that ramp goes super high, and then you just become ridiculous. In the beginning, it's a little rough, but that's it, right? And that's only because you're at a spell limit. Well, actually, if you haven't had another character just hoarding gems, like, you know, that's pretty much what I did in the beginning.
My monk too. I got you. My monk was the same way.
So if you didn't hoard gems in the beginning and then you're just playing and then you had to pick skills, it's easy to fuck up, right? Like, you get the lightning ability, but you don't know that if you're, like, you know, just like a completely fresh player, hasn't watched the online videos or anything like that, and don't know the interaction between fire and lightning, right? Which is anything that passes through fire pretty much gets a fire effect, magic or anything. Like, so the lightning gains a fire effect if you throw like, so your second skill should be, so you get your lightning skill first, and then your second skill should be flame wall. And so every time you put a flame wall down, you throw the lightning, and then the lightning goes to the flame wall, gains a fire effect, and starts hitting shit. And then you're onto the races. Now you're really blasting. Oh, you're starting to. You're mini blast.
you just, at that point, you're just kind of shooting. You're not blasting yet, but you're getting close to blasting.
Yeah, you pop it. You got a revolver now, okay?
Popping a couple caps at a time. I see you.
Yeah, you got a little pea shooter before where you had just the lightning. Now you got a little power. You got a little revolver now. And then later on, you just get a rocket launcher and a nuke. That's literally what happens with the fucking sorceress. It's like, oh yeah, you got compared to guns, you got you got this little one-shot pop gun in the beginning, then you get a revolver, then you get a 9mm, you keep going up, and then eventually you just end with the nuke, and that's before in game.
Yeah. Okay. One more question before I start talking shit about melee again. Do you get that shotgun for mercenary at level 1? It's like when do you get that shotgun ability?
Oh, yes, you get it at level 1.
I should just fucking play mercenary.
They get a bunch of they have a lot of shotgun abilities though. Well, I won't say a lot. They have an elemental one, which is an ice one. And then they have the normal shotgun ability that is literally the first ability you get. Yeah.
I'm looking up skills right now. Hold on.
Merc is fun as hell, dude.
Because I'm gonna start. Like I said, I've done a little bit now with my ranger, with some crossbow stuff, but looking at this is fucking, yeah. This is just fucking armor piercing rounds, explosive grenade, flash grenade. This is literally just a Call of Duty character.
Yeah. So flash grenade. I didn't realize at the beginning it did damage, but you can also blind yourself by doing it.
Blind yourself?
Yeah, you can blind yourself in your party if you do it too close to people. But you'll also blind the enemy. So they'll get decreased accuracy. The decreased accuracy thing doesn't really... If you're doing like the normal shots, it's, you know, you have a chance to miss, but it's not enough to like fuck up your game really. But if you're tossing grenades out, you don't care. You're already blasting. You don't care. You're just tossing grenades out. They don't get an accuracy hit. So it's just grenade, boom. Flashbang, grenade, boom. And that's how it goes. And flashbangs do damage. So you could kill shit. You could probably kill stuff with your flashbang if you timed it. But it's gonna be explosive grenade later anyway. Like you do explosive grenade, explosive shot, boom, boom, and it's like the shotgun times like times like 200, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Oh, so I'm looking at this. So their weaknesses are they can barely move and they have high cooldowns. That's it.
Who said they can barely move? You can move while shooting.
Like low mobility and high cooldowns, according to this website that I'm on, are the weaknesses.
I don't know about that. Maybe they don't dash around or anything, but I don't.
My Ranger do be moving though. I'll tell you that much. And I have a skill right now where like it ups my movement speed and ups my what's the thing for dexterity where you can dodge?
Evasion?
Yeah, evasion.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just stand. Sometimes like someone will try to be hitting me and I'll just stand there and I don't get hit. It's great. Or I can run around and do that if I really wanted to.
Yeah. But here's the thing with the Merc, right? Like, I guess if you qualify as low mobility, sure, whatever. Yeah, you don't have any dash rounds or anything like that. Yeah, sure. But at the same time, you got shotgun effects. So if you get swarmed, it's actually not a bad situation because they'll all get hit. You throw out your explosive grenades and something's trying to swarm you, explosive grenade, exploding shot, it hits all of them. They're dead. And then you're just walking through. It's like you're noob tubing with a guy. That's what makes it so fun. It's like you're shooting a grenade launcher all the time.
I'm telling you, class wasn't supposed to be here.
No, it's totally supposed to be here. It's awesome.
Nah, man. This was the class that they were like, we're gonna get these suckers to buy this game. They'll see that this is a really good class, and then they'll be prepared and excited for when we drop the real game. We're saying in 2025, but really we'll do it in like 2027 to get more money out of these saps. That's what they're doing.
Nah, it'll be 2025. They keep their word. I'm just wondering when the next set and who the next set of classes is, because it's obvious they're going to do 2 at a time. So who are the next 2?
Let's see what classes we have left.
So it has to be a strength end class. Like 100% have. One of them is a strength end class. I don't know which one. It probably is the druid.
Since we saw it, yeah.
There's 100% a strength end class, and I don't know like what else after that, right? Like I don't think they dropped both strength end classes, which the druid and the crusader at the same time. I doubt that.
Okay, the class that we have in right now, we're going by attribute instead of the class because we already know the attributes, right? So we got to guess what's going to be here. We have a class that's dexterity strength, a class that's dexterity intelligence. We have one that's just dexterity. We have 2 that are intelligence and 1 that is just strength. So strength int for sure, right? And there's 2 classes according to this that are strength int: Templar and Druid. We've seen a lot of Druid gameplay, so it makes sense that the Druid will be the next one because we've seen so much Druid gameplay, right?
Right.
Did I say no? So I'm guessing Druid for sure. So I'm with you there. We have a straight dexterity class already. We have a straight strength class. Do we have Dex and Int? I don't think we have Dex and Int either.
No, that's monk.
Oh yeah, Monk, Dex, Int. So we're not gonna get another one of those.
Well, it'll be whatever the secondary one of that is, right?
Yeah, they
So
they could drop both Strength Int classes in here and just give us Templar Druid to get the flail and get the Druid weapon also.
the axe? No, they put the axe in there. Oof.
The axe for Marauder.
Oh, axe is Marauder.
Yeah.
So what's Druid have?
Druid, what's this? A Sceptar?
Oh, Scepter?
Scepter, yeah.
Oh. It's probably for sure Druid.
According to this, again, we gotta take this with a grain of salt, right? Because this is not GGG's website.
Yeah. Oh, okay. If it is the Scepter, or wait, we could actually we'd have to go in game right now and look, but yeah.
I can't because I'm recording, and if I'm doing that, the stuff will get all weird.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna do it right now, but yeah, well, we'll look at it a little bit. It's just, I think we're gonna get one of those. One strength and class. Do we get the other strength class or the other dex class?
We could do strength dex. We already have one strength dex class, but
That's the merc.
Yeah, duelist according to this is also strength dex, but you get swords. I guess it's really about what weapons we're gonna get, right? That's really the main thing. I don't think we're getting spears right away because whatever about spears. Axes seem like they could come in. Daggers feel like whatever also. Flails also kind of feel like whatever. It feels like swords and the scepter are like the two weapons that we're like fiending for right now. That would also really, really help warrior a lot.
The scepter one would, because you could, at that point you could start doing the strength int builds, and have a supporting weapon for it. But even the flail would work too, right?
Yeah, that's strength int according to this website too. So
because if you wanted to be a melee strength int, more melee based strength int class versus a caster, you could probably do the flail and throw some holy justice on some people,
And that means, like we said before, Druid and Templar might be the next wave.
I don't. We'll get one of those, and then one of the other ones.
Probably Shadow or something.
Shadow would be sick, but
I guarantee you they're not going to give us Huntress until the game releases. I guarantee you that, because that's the class everyone wants to play. But we're not going to get that until the game is about to come out. So,
yeah. Who knows? We'll find out soon, I guess.
Everyone's on holiday right now. No one's at work. So we'll see what happens in January.
Bet you they're at work.
No, they're like, we just got all this money from these saps. They couldn't wait 6 months. They're paying for this now. It was gonna be free to play if they would have waited 6 months, but we got all this money out of these suckers.
Oh,
so
no. 6 months to a year, man. Like, it could be a year.
That the real game ain't coming out to 2026. They got our money. This is already bigger than most of these type of games already on launch.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, oh yeah, by the way, this is the game. Have fun, and we don't get any of these classes, and it's over.
No, I doubt it. I doubt that, because they need to test get that, they need to get that extra test, right? Like, they, before they bring them out officially. They need to, which is probably why they didn't bring all 12 classes out at once, which, makes sense.
That would have been crazy if they would have Like I did not. I don't think anyone expected them to do all the classes. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, that's complete insanity. But I think they're honed a little. They're honed in on the starting 6 that they have right now. I think they can add like 2 more if they wanted to. And it'll be 2 more weapon types and 2 more sets of abilities that to shake up the game.
I can see more. I can see happening in February. I just looked up the release date because, Steam called me out for POE already being in my top played games already. You saw that.
They did the same to me.
See, they called you out too. See, I knew they were gonna do it.
Fuckers.
Fucking asshole. The game came out December 6th, so I'm guessing like maybe late February, early March. We'll probably see the next 2 characters. More than likely, I don't think we'll get it any earlier than that. I'd be surprised if we get it like earlier than late February.
Nah, I think like maybe mid to late January.
You think January?
Yup.
You think they're gonna turn around in about a month and a half, and give us 2 more characters?
Yeah, I think they can. I have a lot more confidence in them doing it than like Blizzard, right?
Goddamn. Goddamn.
But I'm just stating facts here. They've already did massive changes in like 2 weeks. It has taken Blizzard like 7 seasons to do almost the same amount of changes. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to put Blizzard on blast here. I still love Diablo 4, but there's I don't even hate to say this. There's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
And current Blizzard ain't meeting that level. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, hey, facts are facts, right? Like, yeah. you can't be mad. We've seen what Blizzard's been doing, right? Like, we haven't even talked about Marvel Rivals. That game also came out the same day Path of Exile, and it is killing Overwatch right now.
Oh, it is fucking murdering Overwatch right now. Right now, yeah. So we could let's change it. We'll change subject real quick. We'll talk a little Marvel Rivals.
Okay.
Right now. So Marvel Rivals came out. It is doing all the things Overwatch just abandoned when they went from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2.
Mm-hmm.
They have features and things like that, like destructible arenas and shit. Overwatch has been out how long? They don't even have that.
Mm-mm.
That completely like changes the game. Like Marvel Rivals is the clone that added a few more things that made it a little bit better. Well, not a little bit better. It's actually Marvel Rivals is like Overwatch 1, just with more shit.
And with Marvel characters.
Yeah, with Marvel characters. It's in that vein. And I when I played Marvel Rivals, I was like, man, they spent a lot of money cloning fucking Overwatch. It is an Overwatch clone down to everything. You're going through the menus and everything. It's an Overwatch clone. Let's not like fucking bullshit here. Like, it is totally an Overwatch clone.
I'm gonna be honest. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Why the fuck did Blizzard get rid of all the shit that made Overwatch popular to begin with? Why did they do that? They had no. We want to do PvE. No, the fuck you don't. No, you don't.
And they never did it. They never did it.
The only reason that we were told to go from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 was for PvE. Despite the fact that we've had PvE events in Overwatch already. That was already the thing that they were doing. Oh, you want a dedicated PvE? We need to go to Overwatch 2. And while we're at it, we're also going to change the whole dynamic of the entire game for literally no reason. They're on top of the world.
Oh, and by the way, you can't go back.
Oh yeah,
we're going back to Overwatch 1.
we are delisting Overwatch 1. We're taking Overwatch 2 is just going to take over Overwatch 1. Oh, and by the way, you're not going to get your skins either. Buy them again. unlock all these characters that you've had for like 5 years again. Like, it does not, it's greed. It just doesn't make sense that they made this change. So fuck them. This is what they deserve.
Yeah, no, they got, so in the course of a week, they got their ass handed to them twice. Like, big time. It wasn't like, no, like, you know, it'd be one thing if it's like, oh, they only have like, you know, 20, 30,000 players. No, they're showing up with 500,000 plus players each game, right? Like, hold on, let me look at the Marvel Rivals ones because it's probably.
I bet you it's still high right now.
Okay, so Marvel Rivals, Steam.
Lord have mercy. Oh my god.
You got to it before I did, so go ahead, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, all-time peak right now. All-time peak, right? For all the time, 418,832. Right? Okay. Within 20 minutes ago, it is 364,298.
Yep.
They barely lost players. In the last 2 hours, it's 384,000 people.
So with that alone, that should tell you something.
That's just Steam.
Right? That's just Steam. So that's not PlayStation, which I guarantee you there's equal that amount on there.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox, there's probably, you know, we'll say we'll say Xbox, if it's like 380,000 over there, we'll say Xbox is probably another 160, 170,000 players.
That's probably a safe bet.
Right? And then if there's a client that's not in Steam, then you can I don't know the percentage of that. Actually, wait, is it on Epic Games? I think it's on Epic Games.
It might be.
You have a percentage of people on Epic Games also, right? So, you know, right there, that whole gigantic pool of players is over 1 million. Path of Exile 2 is the exact same way. I actually think Path of Exile 2 is about closer to 2 million with how it's going, right? So you have all these. It's a wake up call. Blizzard, all your bad decisions are catching up to you. Time to make some good decisions. Time to get back to the company that you used to be, which I'm not sure it's even possible anymore.
Long gone.
I used to like Blizzard so much that I called my PCs Blizzard boxes because all it would be was just Blizzard games on my fucking computer, right? Right now, I only have I have WoW and I have Diablo on there, and that's about it. Nothing else. Maybe I'll play like Hearthstone every now and then, but you know that's about it. Yeah, they need to come back to form, man. Like the other companies are doing everything you're not, and I'm not sure like the games that you have right now, you can fix those. There's almost no way to fix those unless you make a new game starting from the beginning, taking out all your bad decisions. Probably ain't what you want to hear, but too bad. I don't care.
It's just greed. It's just greed. They had no reason to change Overwatch the way they did. You can't say that about Diablo, right? Diablo 3 to Diablo 4 there had to be a game somewhere. It's been years. So that makes sense. It didn't make sense for them to do what they did to Overwatch. They literally gutted Overwatch to the point now they're trying to add all the stuff back now.
Yeah.
Like it's too late. You didn't have to do this. You got greedy. You thought that y'all were the shit and people were just gonna do whatever you wanted because that's what's been happening. That's not how this works anymore. It's not. Like you have to. It doesn't matter your pedigree at this point. There's still people that are out there that are hit makers doing stuff. Like Capcom was shit 10 years ago, right? They had a couple things here and there, sure, but Capcom was just in the fucking gutter. Look at Capcom now.
Then Ono left, and then Capcom went up.
Yeah.
The second he left.
Second he left.
Which is very fucking telling.
But that's the world that we live in, right? You
Yeah.
got to be able to adapt. Just because you were the number one doesn't mean you're gonna stay number one. Just because you were bottom tier doesn't mean you're just gonna stay bottom tier. You gotta adapt. You gotta move with the climate. And it also, for Marvel Rivals, it's fucking Marvel characters, bro. Like,
Yeah.
launched IPs. Actual people love Marvel. People love Overwatch. You put them together, what do you know?
Oh, yeah. What do you know? Like, let's put it like this, man. Like, so they had the IP, right? All they had to do was make a solid game. It didn't even have to be great. It just had to be like in the middle, solid, right? It is above solid. If I were to grade it, I would give it like an 85, 90, right?
It's easy when you take everything from Overwatch. Easy to make a solid game when you just take Overwatch and just put Marvel characters on it.
Put Marvel characters on it and then do some tweaks to make it better, right? Like make a few more archetypes, make a few different archetypes, like fucking asshole Jeff the Shark. Fuck that guy. Best character in the game. He's so ridiculous. It is so different, right? But it's a new archetype in that type, in that type of game. But they put a new archetype in there. They mixed archetypes. They made cool stuff, and it's showing. That player count that you just read off that keeps going up is showing. And it's going to go up even more after people get their nice new PCs and PlayStations and Xboxes, over Christmas.
Oh, God bless that. Speaking of that, I don't want to change. I'm not going to change subject too hard.
No, go ahead.
Not going to change subject too hard.
It's our fucking show. We can change it whenever we want.
No. Call of Duty's also having popped right now too.
Okay.
It's more than the normal, because you know how Call of Duty's been for like the last 6 years. It's people will play it, people will enjoy it, and then people will dissect it a little bit, and it will kind of not fall off the face of the earth, because no Call of Duty falls off the face of the earth, but it's kind of you'll have the normal people talking about it. The content creators will still be very high on it, and they'll do that, right? Apparently, people hate Black Ops 6.
Oh shit!
Including content creators. It's wild. People don't like the perk system. People don't like how they're doing guns. People don't like the nerfs that they're doing to guns. And I've never seen a Call of Duty go this hard, this fast with their core audience.
Yeah, that's strange.
I think Marvel Rivals also has something to do with that too, I think, if I'm gonna be honest. Because I see a lot of COD creators going over to Marvel right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. Look, no one is safe, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Oh well, right? That's Blizzard game number 3, right? They're taking 3 L's right now.
That's right, Activision. That's right, Activision Blizzard. That's right. I always forget Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard. I always forget that.
They're not core Blizzard. They're the Activision portion. Actually, I would say Call of Duty is mainly an Xbox, is a Microsoft thing now. I wouldn't even consider it Blizzard.
Well, Activision.
It's Activision.
Yeah. Put it on that side.
So, yeah, man. Hey, they're gonna have to figure it out. Okay, POE shook Blizzard so much that they made Diablo 4 free to play throughout for fucking holiday.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my god, are you serious?
They got so shook by POE. See, we're gonna have to show the graphic up here so you know I ain't lying.
I got you. Look, while we're talking about it right now, it's already up there. Don't even worry about it. It's up there right now. People can see it right now.
Yeah. It is free right now to play. Right now.
That is wild. Why the fuck? No. I'm not playing Diablo. if
The whole thing, even the expansion, you could probably, if you wanted to, right now, because you've played through the main game.
uh-huh.
If you wanted to just play through the fucking expansion real quick, right, and try out the spirit board, you could get through it in about 15 hours, easy. If they let you play through the whole expansion campaign.
I'll just take that 15 hours and play POE and play Metaphor. I'm good.
And be blasting.
Blasting. Bro, they fucking made Diablo 4 free to play for the next couple weeks. Oh my god.
They got shook. I'm telling you.
Like I said, you can't be complacent at the top. It does not matter how good you were. This is not 20 years ago where people will just blindly be like, okay, I know this isn't the best. I'm still here. There's a lot of competition in gaming right now. A lot of studios, a lot of indies, a lot of people making games right now. You can't just be okay with being at the top because it's not going to last. And plus, with all these goddamn content creators out here, I'm talking shit. I guess we're content creators now too. But everyone talking shit about your games also is going to affect your shit. So, hey.
Well, I'm just gonna say this, right? Like every time so far, and I'll talk in the case of Path of Exile 2, and I'll talk Last Epoch, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ones that the developers that have the passion for what they're doing, or the passion for the genre or the game that they're making. Every time they bring something out, it shows. And those big ones, the big ones like the Diablo 4s that were complacent, they get fucked every time. Because it's just like they overlook all these things, and these small guys, they don't overlook those things. The GGG, they're not overlooking those things that Diablo overlooked. They're going in. They're putting the stuff in that needs to be put in. They're taking the risks, which there's a lot of stuff in PoE. If I were to talk about PoE2 like risk, like WASD and stuff like that, that completely change the game. Like they take risks, and they execute in the way where that game that's coming out is what it's supposed to be. Like I wish I could articulate it better. What I'm talking about, but the passionate developer is going out there and doing all the stuff that these juggernauts are not doing. And when their games come out, people are playing them 100%. And it's showing. They get beat every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is, there's no question about it.
That's the era we're in right now, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you said it perfectly, honestly. Like, that's the era we're in right now. Like,
Yeah.
anyone who wants to make games can make games right now. Anyone who's passionate about making these games, they can find a way to do something. Last Epoch's the perfect example, right? I know not a ton of people play that game anymore, but God bless was that game fun when it came out. The only problem it had was the fact that the servers didn't work. And that didn't matter to some people, like it didn't matter to you because, you were playing offline.
Yeah.
But that was the only problem, is that the servers weren't working. The game was a lot of fun.
The game is super fun.
That's where we are now. Anyone can make these fun games, and like you said, if you have the passion for it, you can do it. I mean, we have a lot of examples, not even just with those two games, not even just this genre.
Yeah, outside the genre too.
Mm-hmm.
So the only one I'm waiting for right now is somebody make a good football game.
We that's not gonna happen. We were in a good. I thought we were in a place with boxing too. We're not in a good place with boxing anymore.
Well, EA is coming back to boxing, so good luck.
I mean, look, Undisputed also kind of ruined themselves too. Like Undisputed, they put goddamn Jake Paul in the game, bro.
and unlimited power shots with no stamina
God
hits.
bless.
Yeah.
It just all people do in that game, they throw power hooks. That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
there's no consequence. There's zero consequence. But
It wasn't like this. It wasn't like this in early access because I played Undisputed early access. It was not this. And once they put Jake Paul in the game, that was my final straw. They already got my money. I just deleted the game. I'm just not gonna touch it anymore.
yeah, unless you can, he comes with this whole new. He comes with his own game, fixing the fight.
That's pretty much what Undisputed is right now. Wobbly swing. You'll get that one lucky hit. You'll go down. You can barely get up. The CPU goes down. They'll be able to get up pretty easily. The game's busted. I can't wait for EA to come back. I'll take a fight night. Fuck it.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I was playing Fight Night Champion like a couple weeks ago.
That game is still really good.
The game's amazing. If so, all they have to do, hey EA, maybe one of you guys are listening to this podcast right now. I don't know. Take Fight Night Champion, use that as your base, and just add on to it and make it. As far as your fighting system go, I don't know. Like add on to it. Your fighting stuff was already solid because you couldn't do the shenanigans that they do in Undisputed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would guess like get like your stuff like from like that you've honed in the UFC games, like a little bit better physics and better models and all that stuff, and bring it over to that game. I don't know. I'm a designer. I'm pretty sure that's not easy. I'm very sure that's not easy, and probably can't be done. But use Fight Night Champion as your base, and then move up. That's it. All you need to do, and you'll kill Undisputed. Easy. It won't even be a contest.
If you need more striking, take UFC 2. Don't do that shit that you did in UFC 3, 4, or 5. You want to add some stuff to that? Put UFC 2 some shit in there too. UFC 2 Fight Night Champions. Use those games. Get us something good, please.
Yep.
But man, yeah. I think that'll wrap us. I think we're good. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we end this?
Let's see. Oh, okay. So, this is another one of those. I went to GameStop.
Uh-oh.
And it's that GameStop by you, man. It's that GameStop.
Oh, up in the north? Oh, God. No, don't. Oh. Okay.
I'm going to have to get them. Man.
Yeah,
like,
I know about the people in that store. Go ahead.
They're stupid as hell.
Yeah.
And it's again made me not want to buy a game. So I went there because, we took our dog down. He was getting groomed. So we have like 2 hours to kill. So we go to a couple of stores. My wife went to Bed Bath & Beyond and all that shit. And then I went to GameStop real quick. Went inside the GameStop. Was looking around. I saw Dragon Quest VII for the 3DS was there. I was debating on getting it, so I had it in my hand. And there was these parents, and they were buying their kid a Switch. I was like, yeah, get a Switch. Hell yeah. So they're getting their kid a Switch. And then they picked out some games. Oh, one of the games they picked out, and I'm assuming it's for a little kid, right? Was Darkest Dungeon 2.
Uh-oh.
I was like, oh no. They're not going to get this kid Darkest Dungeon 2, are they? So they asked the fucking cashier guy, hey, do you know anything about this game? He's like, oh, yeah, it's, it's kind of like an adventure game and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, god damn it. Do I interject? I'm like, no. No. I'm just going to let this dude crash and burn. So he convinced these people by not telling the truth to get Darkest Dungeon 2 for their kid. and that's like an instant. All right, depending on what age this kid is, if he's in his teens, you'll probably be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
More likely, he's not a teenager. He's probably like some like 6, 7 year old kid. So he has Darkest Dungeon and then like whatever else. I don't know what other game they got. Hopefully, that's not the only game they got. They'll be fucked. I'm like, you could literally let them give a little kid the heart. Oh, one of the most ridiculously violent games. Not only that, he's probably not going to understand what the fuck is going on. And it's like one of the most brutal games that you could give somebody. So yeah, like at that point, I'm like, God damn it, GameStop. You'd be fine if you would get money from me sometimes if you just didn't. Some people didn't talk, and that guy talked, and I was like, well, I'm gone.
Oh,
But, yeah.
look, I know about. I'm not gonna dox myself. I'm not gonna say exactly where it is, but I know the people at that GameStop because I go to that GameStop every once in a while. There's a reason why I don't buy a lot of games from that GameStop.
Yeah,
They are not great.
they are terrible.
And the wild part is, it feels like those same people have been there for like 6 years. They've been there for because I've lived up in this area for a very long time, and it just it feels like it feels like the same people have always been there, and they've never learned anything else. They've just taught the other people that are there their bullshit, and they just spew it because for whatever reason they want to get those sales, despite the fact that it's not really a commission job, but whatever.
Well, here's the thing: like Darkest Dungeon was a $40 game, right?
Uh-huh.
They could have very easily said, "Hey, get Paper Mario," or "Hey, get Mario Odyssey." Like, get them something that's fairly easy, super fun. They will get the most out of their Switch, and you still get the $40. It's there's an alternative. They have the sales on all those games right now, all the Nintendo-based games right now. Shit, the other day I got Persona 5 Tactics for the Switch for like $9.99. So, that sale's still going on. So
that's a steal. That's a good game too. I've already played it. It's a steal. It's a good price for that game.
Yeah, that's a great price for that game. Oh, so yeah, he could have said so many other things, and there's a lot of times where I will interject and be like, "No, you probably should not do that." But I'm like, "No, I'm gonna let this guy crash and burn because if they bring that game back, he gets fucked." Like, it's on him. Because he didn't really tell them what kind of game that is. It's a rogue game where your dudes die, they die forever, and it's not easy. It's just a Darkest Dungeon game is not easy. You got to be, yeah, it's a different type of game. I love those games, but for like a 6, 7 year old kid, no, not smart, dude.
Listen, I'll end it on this.
Yep.
If kids back in the day could play the Lion King game, kids nowadays can play Darkest Dungeon. It's fine. It's fine.
Oof. I don't think kids nowadays can play most games that we played back in the day.
No.
Like, man, there's like, okay, I'll take like just a regular OG NES, like something like Russian Attack.
Mm-hmm.
No, that controller would be broken in about 10 minutes.
There's some streamers lately that have been playing those kind of games, like those older games that back in the day they couldn't really save, kind of had to leave the system on if you want to save it, like those kind of things, right? Mm-hmm. They're emulating them, right? So they're able to get saves and stuff like that. They're still freaking out. It's hilarious.
Yeah, well, he's gonna be like, "Oh, how did they beat these games?" It's like, no, we had this. This was the non-participation trophy era, the era of testosterone and all that stuff. We had to go hard at all times, even David. We gamed hard. I mean, there's no other way. It was life.
Or went outside and fought.
It's like when we played the game, we you could either beat the game or you couldn't. It was either yes or no. Did you beat the game? Yeah. Cool. Did you not? Yeah, no, I got fucked on the game. Yep, you sure did.
There are also time limits because of like shit like Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and shit. You had time limits. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't just lollygag and you didn't have like a backlog. Couldn't do that.
Nope, you had a weekend, and then you had to return it.
Or if you were lucky, you begged to get your parents to re-rent it. It usually was a no.
Yeah.
That game was gone forever.
Yeah, no. There's so many games in the 8 and 16-bit era where it's like before they like constantly before you could save all the time and stuff like that. Woof. Like shit, they're struggling. There's people struggling on Mike Tyson Punch Out, right?
Oh, yeah. Hilarious, by the way. Those are the funniest streams to see like a lot of those retro games that younger people were playing. Hilarious.
Yeah. Get knocked out by Glass Joe. I'm like, tisk.
Couldn't even make it to Iron Mike.
Shit, I could do it now in one go. I can't beat Iron Mike though. I could do it in one go.
We're gonna have to record that.
Okay.
But I think that wraps us up, if I can speak English, for this podcast. So everyone, thank you so much for listening. This is an episode of the Command Grab. If you like this, make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment, give us some comments. We've seen that we get a couple here and there. Definitely comment, join the conversation. Let's talk about some of this stuff. Make sure, again, subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with your friends. Let them know. Let everyone know that we're talking about video games here. Let them know that we talk about anime on the OVA. Let them know we talk about wrestling on Off the Top Rope. And just have them come, join the conversation. Let's have a good time. And again, make sure you follow us on all of our social medias at TAGPW Podcast. Find us, follow us there, do all that kind of good stuff. That's it, everybody. Later.
We out.